Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some supposedly equestrian age. So horse-centered era, and Xun is today's character. Xun, I translate as a patrol. Um, and it's related to horse because it talks about traveling, right? And horse expand our range of movement, how far we can go. So Xun, you can see simplified and traditional, they look the same. Versus 2000 years ago, again, this script style of Chinese, like ancient way of expressing the Chinese character, because at the beginning it's a variety of different ways of representation of this concept, and then standardized in about 2000 years ago. So now this gives us more clue what that is. Um, we know in contemporary, like this thing, it means walking, but why it means walking, we don't exactly know. It doesn't look like walking, right? It doesn't even look like a human thing. So now, if we look at 2,000 years ago's dictionary, we now know, like after I've done this for a while, I can tell what these parts exactly are. So this is a 指, that means our foot. To be specific, it's our right foot because Chinese is first person perspective. We have this 2D frame and we project our own ourselves onto these frames. This is right foot because this is the big toe, pinky toe, rest of the toes, and this is the sole. And you can see if the big toe is on the left side of the rest of the toes, that means it's a right foot from your first person perspective. So your foot. By the foot itself, Chinese would I guess, customarily, habitually expressed just by the foot symbol itself means stop, standing still. You just have the foot over there. But once it paired with these three strokes, and these three strokes are the marks left by your footsteps. So we have a character that have both left and right footsteps three times in a row. So Chinese, we use three to mean 10 to the third almost. It's not literally just three, it's exponential. So when we have three strokes that like you can picture in your mind, that's many, many steps forward. And here we'll actually discard the right foot step, only leave it with the left foot steps and paired with the right foot together. It gives you the sense of it's no longer just the foot by itself. It's no longer standing still. When we have the three strokes, it means you are walking across the space. So the whole thing means walking. And somehow along the line, simplified and traditional both change this. As how many strokes? Three strokes of this character. Change it into two. Like this one dot, and then the rest of them is one long stroke, even if it's kind of like a letter Z. But still, it's one stroke. It's a super simplified versus originally it's six strokes. So there's a simplification process going throughout, I guess, the history. So now we're kind of checking in time, looking back through thousands of years and have different versions to show how a little bit. And these are snapshots, and we don't even have a full picture of how each character evolved over time. We can only see through this tiny bits through history, littered through history to guess how things evolve. So this together, it means walking. The right side, this shape means streams or fast flowing water. So we have water in nature, the flowing water, the creeks, little brooks, right? Those got broken lines on the side because it kind of imitating how water flows through nature. It got interrupted all the time, but waters can always find its way, travel through the blocks or fallen trees, all that. But here is unblocked speed traveling torrents almost. So is that by itself can represent either flooding or currents that's kind of speedy because it's unblocked. So this is we take the speed concept from this water flowing behavior paired with human walking. together, it means patrol, because you're kind of speed walking through different stations where you try to check out what's happening. Unlike today, we have satellites and we have internet, right? Phones to instantly have information on the ground, to centralize, and somebody can, in the central control, can know what's going on all around. But before, we have to rely on human fast speed walking to go to different places, to patrol, to check out what's happening over there. Okay, so 巡 end up be our patrol concept. 巡风料哨. Okay. So we check on the wind and then we try to predict the signal. That's how I translate it. So basically, it's a 巡风料哨. It's almost like you kind of tune up your radar. Well, in the radar era, signal capturing, and then you try to, through the signals, detect if there are any changes so that you can make quick decision based on supposedly accurate information that you can gather from the signal. So 巡风料哨 is this kind of intentionally searching for information. Was like I would imagine that's around the front line or borderline, you with your enemy, right? So you want to discover what the other side is doing if they are breaking into your area. So 巡风料哨 is this sensitivity or this process to gather information from your enemy side. Okay, 九二南巡 is a specific event happened in 1992 by Deng Xiaoping. Okay, if you know him, okay, he is the boss before, so right currently is a Xi, right, as a leader, and then okay, Xi before Jiang Zemin. Okay, I cannot remember all of it. Maybe 3 generations before the current president. And so 1992, Deng, when after he was already retired and he was no longer like a forefront figure as a country leader. And we all know, like in 1989, Soviet Union kind of crumbled, and that's a big shockwave sent through all the communist countries, right? So the political political regime over there in these countries are trying to figure out what to do. Should we just jump boat and hop onto the capitalist camp? Should we give up or all that, right? We can now, looking back, can sense what a sensitive time that is. So after that, we also kept to have Tiananmen Square, right? It's political instability era. And so this opening up of China toward the rest of the world, try to connect the Chinese economy to plug into the global supply chain, that was kind of halted, kind of in action, or at least it's reactionary to the current, to the time, the political environment at the time. So 九二南巡 happened in 1992. So we say 92 means 1992. That Deng, even if he retired, he still have a lot of influence, political influence. And basically he, through that patrol or visiting of different cities in Shanghai, in all the big economic centers nowadays, we know, manufacturing centers or the international trade facing centers, he kind of talked about the importance to continue this process of globalization in China. So that's almost like through a political setback time, and he make the call to, we have to move forward, otherwise there's no future. So that's an important year in Chinese history because all the the exponential growth in China came after that time because it's kind of doubled down on this policy of connecting to the international, at least economically, connecting to the international community so that a whole generation, just throughout a one generation's time, so much change happened in China, and China experienced like extreme growth curve. All right, so that's 九二南巡. It became a set phrase in China because it casts such a long shadow. It's almost like American go back to Reagan time or something like that, right? The most prominent political leaders, thinkers, or visionaries, and they shaped a whole like many decades afterwards. So 九二南巡 cast a long shadow. All right. 酒过三巡. Okay, same as 酒, but here it means drinks. So drink beyond 3 rounds. Because 巡 means patrol. Patrol means you check all the points along the borders. So on the dinner table, the dinner culture or the restaurant culture in China is if you want to do business in China, you have to be able to be a good drinker. So by drinking a lot, you show like your authenticity. Like you really want the business so hard, you have to harm yourself by like a kind of overdose of drinking of alcohol. And the one of the practices you drink and you drink like a cheers with everybody around the table. And each round of everybody around the table is 1 round. And sanxu means you already did that 3 times. And imagine how much alcohol that is. So I partially left China because I don't like this culture of drinking. It's health in counterintuitive to health. Like I don't exactly know why people do that. It's not but 酒过三巡, you can see it captures the drinking culture, drinking slash business culture or practice over there. All right, so here is a poster. Apparently, it's somebody 30年. So it's 1992. So that means in 2022, when people looking back, that China changed a lot during this 30 years. So this is 30年. So it's I guess the media, of course, was commenting, talking about the significance of here 南巡讲话 because not only his behavior, like he visit, but he made a lot of speeches, use very people friendly vocabulary and expressions, and effectively passed the like mass communication, great how to say, made sense through the chaos and sent the message strong and clear to the whole China society to say, okay, we're doubling down. We want business, we want international trade. And that he made a lot of speeches, including the most famous, like regardless of black cat or white cat, if you can catch a mouse, you're a good cat. So it's like the method. So the result can justify the method, right? So that's 巡 patrol. Thank you for your time. See you another day.